You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for A-List New York. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest A-List news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for A-List New York!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the A-List New York. I like this little theme song.
I do too, it's cute.
It's way better than Nyasha's music, if you ask me.
I think it is.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the A-List New York AfterBuzz, episode 5. And I'm your host, Kenny Harrison. And I'm joined by my co-host, the beautiful...
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know why. Was that annoying?
It's his radio announcer voice.
Yeah.
I'm your host.
I'm your host.
Listen to smooth jazz.
Spoken with the people over here that are sitting like this, like with thumbs up their asses.
Oh, wait. What?
Yeah, I know. I'm here with the lovely
Jacque Borowski.
and the handsome Lee
Cameron Marston.
and the godly
Jesse Janedy.
the voice of God in there. This episode episode 5 really wasn't that spectacular. Oh, by the way, I would like to also say thank you to the wonderful TJ Kelly for calling in last week. That was an amazing interview that we had. Also to DJ Janedy for making that happen. So thank you, Jesse. That was awesome.
Welcome.
Cool.
Actually, yeah, I did like it.
Oh, something Cameron
Well,
actually
different
liked.
perspective. You know, he articulated himself very well, and he was consistent with his character on the show. So I appreciate that because I'll rip on a queen in a quick minute, but
You were on your best behavior, and I must
no,
commend you.
because he was able to articulate
you-
himself, and he was consistent with his behavior. It wasn't just all for the show, and he seemed like it was the same person. So
Right.
I was good
Yeah,
with it.
that's the thing I liked. You can tell that he is him when he's on the show and off the show.
Got it. So, well, before we get into,
and to admit that you got your ass beat as a kid. Rock.
well, I think we all did. Well, most of us. that
Well, some
were-
people don't want to visit that. They just kind of leave that behind. That's
Well,
honest.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that too because I know I got my share of lickings
Not me.
by girls.
Anyway, from my family. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the topic of TJ's interview, what do you guys think of his, the whole, like, before we even get into, like, going over what happened last night's episode, like, the whole behind the scenes things that, like, most of the characters don't know, or most of the personalities don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Like, he obviously didn't know about the whole Derek and Duncan thing. What do you guys think about
Ooh, that text messaging. Yeah, I want to hear more about that.
Right. I mean, I don't think that he would know either way. I mean, basically, in the messages, they say that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But in the messages, Duncan basically says Derek says to Duncan, "You."
He basically says let's F with these queens and
right, and
it's
but
very
they don't
negative.
know.
Yeah,
He says they don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, Derek said, what do you say? Vile gay guys.
There you
Yes.
go. Yeah. So I mean, my thing is whatever. It's
But I think they all make, and this was something I was talking to someone else about today, is they all seem to make these ploys to get in the spotlight. It's like,
Right.
okay, well, you pull a producer aside. Okay, this is a storyline I want to have.
Right.
You
Austin.
know?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but the whole Playgirl.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally contrived.
Right.
So
But I don't think necessarily that everybody else knows because that's where the reality comes in. It's like you can see these real
Their
reactions
reactions to it, right?
Yeah.
which are typically real.
Right.
I guess. You know.
Right.
Like the whole.
You are so wishy-washy.
Why? What?
Before we come on camera, you're like, this show is so contrived. And now you're
No,
like, oh, when there's the
Derek's
reality,
reactions
pick a
last
side.
week were contrived, but I think Austin, like this week, Austin cries. I
side.
think that was real crying. Like you definitely could tell.
Pick a
that
side.
he
I
was
like
upset.
girls.
I like dudes and girls.
I like dudes and girls.
Let's start with that. Well, I mean, my whole thing with
No,
Rodney.
special topics later.
Really? Okay. No. Talk about it. I mean, it's a part of the show. Cameron, whatever. So what about Rodney? Rodney and his whole speech thing. Oh, did anyone ever see the King's speech?
Yes.
Okay, and this
Yeah.
is what I thought of when I
Yes.
saw this.
Yeah,
Only
when she's doing
I actually
the-
thought instead of Colin Firth, I thought of Pee Wee Herman. That's exactly like really. It was
Shake
like, it was awful. You know. And
Well,
then the
it's
whole,
just at this point, I think that serves the amusement for the show. It's like
Right.
there's so much tension and so little humor
yeah.
in the show that it's like, okay, we'll bring in Rodney, who clearly sounds like an idiot, and we've told him apparently not to speak English ever in his life, but we're going to show on television him like really trying very hard to speak
And
English.
give viewers hope that it'll get better.
I know.
Which it doesn't seem like it is.
He's
And-
going to be in a play, and she's breaking down literally every syllable, and you're like, oh, Lord.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, no, he said he wanted to be in a movie speaking as an American speaking Brazilian, but not.
Dude,
It just
It was
sounds like a
just-
hot mess.
Brazilian
Yeah.
is not a language.
Yeah, well, or Portuguese. Well, that's yeah. Well, I just got that
Wait,
from
hold on. I just got scolded.
by who?
By God.
God.
Oh, God.
Okay.
The wrath of God. Okay, so all right. Let's backtrack. We started the episode with Ryan and Edwin's fashion show.
Isn't it Edwin?
Edwin.
You botch
Edwin.
everybody's
Well, you know
name.
what?
Oh, bad face work.
Bad face work.
Edwin.
Edwing.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't
He's
even
had
looking at
work
his
done.
face.
Come on now.
Black don't crack. What are you talking about? Oh no, it doesn't crack. I don't think he had face work. Really? You think so? Well, whatever. To each his own. So they're getting ready, and I think this whole fashion show thing is it's a ploy to get everyone together so they can have some
Right,
drama.
so they can fight. Yeah.
Because we all know about we're led to believe from what we discussed last week about the whole fake Derek Duncan relationship and now his hatred for what's his name? Austin.
Very,
And
very flippant character. Derek, sorry.
you know what? I actually liked him in season 1. I despise him now. And a part of me is kind of like, why do I even care? Like, the show is not real. Am I the only one that thinks that? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think
you
there
wishy-washy
are
again.
contrived elements, but I
What?
think there are real reactions. Like I
Right.
think the tension in that room was real.
Now, do we feel bad for Austin in this situation, though?
I do, because I always feel bad. I always feel bad for Austin. There's a surprise to
From
everybody.
one blonde to another.
I know. I'm like, poor blonde Austin. He's so sad.
But
But
anyway.
really, like, it's like you're in this room. You already feel like everybody hates you, and then they start to jump down his throat. It's like a little bit shame on you, Ryan, for inviting all these people
I'm on
here.
page with that. See, Ryan totally pushed buttons.
Well,
Ryan's like, I
TJ
hope everybody can be civil, but we really know everybody's gonna fight.
Well, TJ even called it out. He was like, "You're like the peacemaker and the troublemaker all in one," which I
True.
totally agree because he wants everyone to get along and blah blah. He pulls them to the side. Well, and he has good advice for them.
He does.
in the long run, but at the same time, he's like, "Let me get these queens together and see
Let
what
me
happens."
set up the bad situation so I can
can
look
look
like the
good.
good guy
Yeah.
after.
He's definitely the puppet master.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
kinda
mama
like that,
and
though.
puppet master.
I like that.
Yeah. He runs the show. He runs the show. No doubt about
I
it.
tend to do that sometimes. I just like to get a rise out of people. Okay, we're moving on from that comment. Nobody say anything from what I just said.
Somebody just cleared their throat.
So let's just move along. Rodney goes to the speech coach. We talked about that. Nothing happens. Austin and Reichen, they get together and chat. And, Reichen calls Austin or the word codependent. I wrote down codependent. I don't know how.
There was a fight over the language. Actually, I thought that was a cute scene because they really do have a lot of chemistry.
Well, they have chemistry and there's.
Well, Ryan called it. It's sexual
Tension.
Yeah, it's sexual
Yeah.
tension.
And everything is built off
and
of that.
I think it could be more sexual aggression. Is that right? I think
Depends on where you're going with that thought.
Well, I think in the long. I mean, we can all kind of infer that they have had some kind of.
Yeah, they've had something, definitely.
So there's definitely there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, because Austin keeps referring to their friendship. They're such good friends, and Ryan's called it, and he actually called in this episode about their sexual tension, and that's really where it's coming from and built on, and whatever.
So after that scene, Austin goes to see the trainer, which he's very flirty with the trainer, and I don't know if I was Jake in this situation watching that, I would kind of be like, you're taking it a little too far. I mean, he was kind of like,
I think Austin always pushes the boundaries, though, like of his relationship.
Even with his relationship with Reichen, I think they're too close sometimes.
Yeah, they're really flirty. He's flirty with the trainer,
And they're supposed to be married, so,
future episodes, because that was part of the trailer, right? Or preview for the
next episode, that we kind of saw in the screen.
But that's also age, too. And, when you're that young, you think that a lot of your behavior is justifiable and it's okay. Or I was going to talk about this, too, the whole Ryan thing. I think, sometimes people use truth and they talk about being honest and, I keep it real. Sometimes when you keep it real and throw truth out there too fast, it's at the detriment of others. I take the responsibility off my shoulders and I put it onto somebody else and kind of just let it see where it flies or what sticks to the wall. That's not fair sometimes. Sometimes the truth is cruel.
Yeah.
Not cool.
And sometimes it's too
Cruel.
soon. I agree. Sometimes it's too soon.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. The truth hurts. And,
Ooh, that was a group.
That was a what?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, the truth hurts. Truth hurts. No, wasn't it just a single chick? Sidebar. Wasn't it? Because I was listening to the song in my iPod the other day.
It was Nyasha's mom.
who's 10 years older than her. Sickening. Mike makes his cameo in this episode, and I like to say cameo because there's never an episode about him, and I know I'm assuming that he's just on the show to cash in, like. It's something to do. It's something
But we've
fun.
said this before. Every time he is there, there's substance to it.
It's
Except for this one, though, I have to say.
No, but even then, it was for a charity that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It was
the
for
photo shoot.
Yeah, but it was for a charity, so like for the most part, it's substantial when he comes in.
And we agree that him and
Martin,
they are like the same person. Only one is shorter.
Oh yeah.
They look.
But we don't know Martin enough yet, and that's coming too. So we'll see whatever their drama is.
I hope there's something because I would like to get to know because
we know Mike's dad more than we know Mike.
I know Mike's dad is so
been
cute.
On the show. If
so
you go to
cute.
IMDb, they have the same number of episodes
Nice.
that they appeared in. That's so
I
nice.
love it.
But do you think if they like kind of like how TJ was explaining, he doesn't want his boyfriend to really play a character on the show because it can cause so much more drama
or strain
problems
on
in the
their
relationship.
Yeah,
it's like dating in the scene.
right. Yeah, I totally agree.
Well,
go
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say if I were dating someone, which probably would never happen, I would not want them to. I know. People who know me, they understand what that
You can call in for a date with Penny later.
Bitches. Okay, so Austin, and what the hell were we talking about just now? Before I just got the womp.
Dating in the scene.
What scene? I'm sorry. I don't have a scene.
Dating on television.
Oh, like The Bachelor, that kind of shit.
Yeah. All those for the most part, all those relationships fall apart because they're under scrutiny.
Has anyone seen pictures of TJ's boyfriend? Or do we know?
Yes, I've seen him on Facebook.
That's pretty a good thing, or a wise thing, I think.
Yeah.
I
mean, but I've never seen pictures of Ryan's husband.
He was on last season.
Oh,
Yeah.
Briefly, like one shot.
He's a tall black man.
Yeah. Tall, big black man.
He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm. Very successful.
With a dark soul.
With a dark soul.
I'm gonna get to that. That's some great stuff.
Can we talk briefly about Nyasha hitting on Rodiney?
No. I think it's just
she's like throwing herself,
ridiculous.
and he's like, no.
Jackie, here's my question: as a straight female, would you ever, knowingly that a guy has been with another guy, would you hit on a guy that is?
I've dated guys who are bisexual before.
How do you? Okay, so does that? this brings up so many questions.
Question.
So okay.
Let's see.
So were you the top or the bottom in those relationships?
Ouch.
Bottom.
Power bottom.
Oh. I would have guessed top, but that's just me. Anyway, so okay. So how were those relationships if you don't mind me asking.
Did you know before?
Most of them, it's like, you know, when you're like this scene where Rodney's out on a date with a girl, it's like you eventually find out. I mean, it's not like the first question I ask a person, you know, like, do you like boys too? You know, I don't normally ask people that, but it's something you find out eventually. And if you really like the person, then it's to me, it's like not a huge issue unless. Now, there are circumstances where you would get the feeling that they like guys a little bit more than girls, and
when they flip over and say, oh, "Okay, never mind."
No, but there have been circumstances where I've been on dates with guys, and I'm like, I don't think you're buying what I'm selling at all, right. You know. And I feel that way about Rodney. Like, I feel that I feel that he shops in the whole different market. Like,
I mean, he had the right premise when he said, you know, just because I'm bisexual doesn't mean that I'm going to sleep with guys while I'm dating you.
Right.
That's what we would like to hear. But, you know, like
okay, so if you look at this is where I see Austin's like tummy, and it's not Playboy or Playgirl material.
Ugh, I still love it. I still think he's cute.
It's worth $3,000 apparently.
Oh yeah. Didn't we mention that in like last week when
that it was they lowballed him?
Yeah. When I'm sure he has low balls too.
Well, that
but
Austin,
not a uniball.
Oh, I feel bad for Reichen. His uniball.
It's okay. He's a Barbie with a uniball.
Wait, so back to the story. So,
what story? I forget.
Do you think that you were more accepting of dating a bisexual man because you admitted before that you grew up around a lot of gay men, so maybe you had a better radar.
I mean, I've dated a lot of men who are now completely out. It's like,
what is wrong with you then?
And well,
do you change them? Like,
no,
they get with you and they be like, "Shit, I don't want to be with a girl."
She gave him a hand up.
She wouldn't toss my salad like I like.
Oh, what?
Oh, can we not say that? I'm sorry.
I mean, you can, but.
Oh, okay. Fine. So you ain't tossing salads over there, Jackie?
No, but I don't feel that sexuality is like a fine line. Like you're either like gay or straight.
Right.
I feel it's more of like a bell curve. It's like some people fall along the very gay side, some people fall along the very straight, but most people are kind of sprinkled in the middle. And
were you married to Julius Caesar back in like another life somewhere?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Kenny, have you ever touched beef curtains?
I have.
See, there you go.
I have. And this is why, and we'll talk about it.
In the frozen meat section.
In the sushi aisle. I don't know. I just mixed metaphors.
No, that was actually a good one. I like that. I
went from beef to sushi.
Well, teriyaki sushi. They're all the same. We'll talk about my sex life later, but I just find it interesting that a girl.
Well, I'm asking because you say you don't believe in bisexuality,
and this is why I want to.
Right.
Well, no, this is a.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
We'll talk about it later. Anybody else want to comment on Jackie's tryst with?
I'll comment on it. Well, I've dated.
Call us.
I've dated
424.
I've dated men before they came out, you know, and then I've dated men who are bisexual, and I just feel that sometimes people are just attracted to who they're attracted to.
Now, here's my question. How do you feel about you being a cover-up for like a lot of these men that obviously, I mean,
I take it as a compliment.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's if she was a cover-up. That's kind of mean, Kenny.
No, I'm just saying.
Because if they're openly bisexual, she's not a cover-up.
Well,
now if she brought them out of the closet.
I was like, come on.
But if they're openly bisexual, she's not
I'm just saying, when they go to the Prada store and they're buying more bags than she is, that's a problem.
Oh, please. I know straight guys, it's still... Never mind.
Okay. We're moving on. Where were we?
If there's a hole, it doesn't matter.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying.
This is a... Okay. Like in a wall somewhere. Mike and his twin and the dad. Nice. And they're at this auction, whatever. Did we talk about we talked about them. So Austin and Ryan, they chat on the balcony.
Ryan's a mole. Sorry.
He is a mole. He is a mole.
Totally.
Actually, you know what? But I relate with him.
I really like him because he's very political. He's like a big political figure.
He would make a great politician. He would make a great politician.
Everybody loves him, but they don't know that he's kind of like...
He's playing both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, he bothers me, but I do have to say that at least from what we've seen, what he says behind their back, he does tell them. No, he says it in a certain way, but he does pretty much keep the gist.
He's given everybody a chance. I think right now he's just at a place where with Austin, it's like, I'm done. Like
right.
Like how we said, you know, I'm always meeting with you in private places. Like we're gonna just keep talking about the same thing. You don't ever listen.
Private
to what
places
I say.
like the bench, like the secret,
Or on the balcony of whoever's
right,
place.
the secret bench.
The storage room at the show. And they're like, honey, you're doing really good. That was kind of odd, though.
Honey, I'm gonna go walk my dogs.
Yeah, everybody was at the storage room in that storage room at one point. I was like, what's going on?
It was totally weird. Totally weird.
Well, because I think
They had a permit to shoot in that storage room.
They're probably like,
They probably
look,
own
this
the
is an
storage.
actual event. We don't want you guys screwing up. So these are
Right.
the 2 rooms you can keep all your drama in.
And a lot of other
And
things.
I want to say, I did feel bad. I'm not for Austin when he cried, when he did his little tears.
We'll get to that.
Whoa! It wasn't about all that, but
We'll get to that because
Okay,
that's the end of the good juicy part of this episode. Let's just skip along. Let's get quick.
hey,
Are we now to the point where Rodney's making a S&M calendar for women?
Can we skip that? That's just like really.
I'm just going to
I
say.
wrote down.
Rodney has a great body. He's a great looking guy.
He is.
I don't understand.
Even I call
it,
BS on his
though.
bisexuality, though. Although another friend told me that Rodney did admit first season that he was bisexual. I was
Well, he said that when we first met him.
Yeah.
But
Again, we also know culturally, right? Culturally, we're different culture.
That
and
is
it is
true.
Because
Yeah.
Gustavo said
That is
it
true.
is somewhat true in Brazil.
If,
Like I
if
said.
you're Brazilian and you can call in and you're a girl and you think that
Hit it.
his calendar is hot, please let us
and
know.
look, I mean, living in New York and Washington Heights, those Dominican boys,
Yup.
Uh,
I swore up and down, and after like 11:30, yes, they were, but. As soon as that sun rises, they were back to
Jesse
the
did his
straight world.
research.
firsthand.
Do you have recordings of these events
Why is
or
Kenny? What are you talking?
you got to have some kind of like video, audio, something. You wrote that shit down in like a notebook or something. Come on,
Would you look at the time?
We're not all as extravagant as you are.
Well, what? You put me
Well,
on
I think
blast
Kenny
like
came
that?
to Los Angeles for that whole extremism. It's not that real, Kenny. Come on.
What do you mean?
What, Kenny?
I
It's
came
not that
here to
black
be-
and white.
Mom, I want a sex tape.
Which is on sale. No,
Mom, I
you
want
can buy it at the
Ray J.
show.
I want to be just like Ray J.
except
Or-
I don't have a uniball. I can say that. Okay. In fact, I have 2 ovaries that have to be removed next week. Anyway, Austin and Mr. McCreepy from Playgirl got together.
Oh my God.
He is like
He's the creepiest creeper
he's
that ever
the scum of
creeped.
the earth.
Yeah.
He's like that. He's like that porn dude that I see recording the videos of the women and just
Girls Gone Wild guy.
beyond that.
Yeah.
He's just like he's like Mr. Gangbang, and it's just like so gross and so like whatever.
And it makes it worse. And this is so terrible. But he's just hideously ugly, and he's like leering. He's like leering at everyone around him.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, dude.
He is gross. Why are you looking at me like that, Cameron? Like, say it. What's on your mind? You want to say
I'm
something.
just waiting for you to say it's contrived.
It is contrived. Well, we already talked about how the guy lowballed him on purpose, and how Austin said before that Playgirl approached him, and what we
Come to find out.
exactly he approached Playgirl.
So now he's playing Austin. Big
Well,
deal,
there you
whatever.
go.
Austin,
Yeah.
cry. What?
Yeah, so he's not gonna do Playgirl, thank God, because we even talk. They don't even print that.
Wait, how many pages
12
did he say?
page
12.
spread. I was like, girl, that is the amount of pages in Playgirl.
Also, didn't he like rag on him about his body?
yeah, he
saying
was
how
like,
he's
you gotta lose weight.
and then he
Wait, and this figure is based on the fact that your ass is not, or it's been shown so much that
on
we
the
have to
show.
factor that in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not like nobody's.
Austin.
And then
And
poor
I think-
Austin.
Hasn't seen
Austin's
it.
talking about getting like liposuction or something. I was like, Lordy.
Well, that's what most actors do. Or I take that back because I have a lot of actor friends. Actually, no, I
Special
don't.
laser treatment.
They do a lot of things to get roles, and they want to be seen. And
Yeah, Playgirl is not a role.
it's a role if you're on your ass.
I mean, 12 pages.
That's
Of
the entirety
what?
of the
I would
magazine.
If a
watch-
magazine it's not even printed anymore. How are you gonna get 12 pages of anything
Well, 12 pages of like
online?
Rodney. Yeah.
I just
But
don't
what,
think they
what
have
is Austin
like.
gonna do for 12 pages?
Yeah, I've never
Roll on his
seen. But
belly and eat. That's
would
all
they
he's
even
good
have a
for.
12-page? That just doesn't happen. You don't
I'm over
have,
that.
You have
Moving
like
on.
a 2-page spread and then a 2-page interview.
Oh, he's spreading something, all right. Anyway, Nyasha and Reichen.
Nyasha.
Oh, TJ totally called me out on that.
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
he was like, "Girl, don't mess up my
I
friend."
don't know her name. Who cares? What is it?
Nyasha.
Nyasha? Whatever. They
Something
have
Nyasha show, whatever.
They have an intervention. Whatever. I'm over that.
Oh, so
shit.
Nyasha and the Austin fight about the visa situation. So I looked it up. It is favorable to have a bachelor's degree or you have experience in a specialty type of career.
So
Blah,
who's
blah, blah,
right?
blah, blah. They're both right.
Oh,
well,
okay.
actually, Austin's incorrect. If you go with Nyasha, it's true. You don't have to have a bachelor's degree. It is more favorable. It would help you out a lot more, but it's not a requirement if you have special skills, per se.
Now ask me if I care about all that.
I do, because
I
Austin a liar.
I think he just. I think he's
He
just
wants his husband to go
ill-informed.
home. That's why.
No.
What did you guys think of
So he can
the
bang.
talk with Nyasha and
Reichen?
Reichen?
I think
Ooh,
it proves.
yeah.
Okay, for me, it's like she always, throughout this whole episode, you see that she always has to be right. Like in her mind, she's always right. She never concedes. You'll see other people conceding at certain points of the show, like normal people. And she does not concede. It's like everything she says is right. And anytime anybody tries to bring up anything to her, she walks away from the conversation.
I agreed with her with that, though. In that situation, like for me, what she told Reichen was
There's nothing wrong with
that
me.
was the truth of what Reichen needed to hear. Now
That part of the conversation, correct.
Yes.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Now,
part of the
She
conversation.
dished it, and then
She dished
She
it.
couldn't take it from,
Well,
you know.
but see, to me, what he said to her was like, well, you didn't even comment on what she just said to you.
right.
You just
He
like
jumped off to something else.
Yeah, you just like it was like you got mad. We're like, well, since we're being real, like
Let me
no,
rip on you real quick.
Respond, admit, like we're talking about your problem, your issue that's really serious, that's affecting your life. The fact that I don't, to me, there's nothing wrong with the way she brags about the things that she does. Like I understand that part of it. Yeah, it's annoying, but I mean, it's not a reason to like hate somebody in that situation. And it wasn't that big of a conversation to be had after. I don't know. What he brought to her was irrelevant to me.
To her
after
with
what
her
he was-
with his relationship.
That's how Reichen's
situation.
brain works, though. Reichen does not always think in a and Reichen never thinks in a linear manner.
He kind of doesn't think. Number one, but I actually I'm on like Reichen's side on this one. I think sometimes because she's kind of new to the group, and I think that he was trying to say, this is what people are thinking. This is what he just doesn't know how to articulate.
Yeah, he was trying to. I'm actually on Reichen's side as for his final reaction to the situation. It's like I respect where she's coming from as far as the I worked my way up to get these things, and I'm very proud that I have them. That I understand, and that like nobody has given her a chance. I understand that too, but the problem comes in when you have a group of people and Reichen's like they don't understand you, so it might behoove you to help yourself be understood. And instead of them communicating, she totally ended the conversation and left.
Well, and that's what she does all the time.
Well, editing too. We don't know.
Yeah, but who doesn't understand her? Because to me, it's just Reichen, Austin.
So let's talk about it. You said that you don't think Reichen can articulate himself. He was articulating himself with the argument with Austin over codependency and word usage.
I think it was a different context. I think
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, I
Not
think
for me.
No, but I think when you're like in a confrontational situation, like when you're talking to like a friend, like we understand that their relationship is different. Austin and Reichen's relationship is different. So
They
he
understand
doesn't
each other
feel
better.
he doesn't
Yeah.
feel threatened. He
wants something from
exactly.
Austin.
He has that physical attraction. When it comes to Nyasha, he doesn't need her for anything. He doesn't want anything from her. You know what I mean? And she is very confrontational. When she starts talking and the conversation escalates, he's kind of like, oh, what do I say? How do I, I can't think.
Then
He's-
bad representation of a gay man. Then if she's in his home on his couch and he can't tell her to mind her own business, just saying, if you thought Reichen was hot, maybe you should rethink that assessment.
Well, the outside, it's okay. So stupid.
Seriously.
But I'm just
It's your home. Somebody comes in and tells you how to live your life or make an assessment about your choices or your behavior, and you don't have the balls, to say something in retort.
But Reichen's kind of
just
like
saying.
that. That's how how he is.
But we all go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
That's probably the first time anyone's ever said it to him.
Yeah.
Like
Because
that.
you have all these friends who are supposed to be your close friends, and this girl came in and read you like a freaking a book, like she's
Like Dr.
freaking been
Seuss.
watching the seasons prior to. That's sad to me. Like Ryan should have at least came in with that type of mentality towards him.
But
And
I
I think he was offended, and that's where he came with the whole.
the back, yeah.
Redirect.
And I think Mike is the only other person that can talk to Reichen and make sense because the way Mike approaches
Mike Ruiz or Mike Manning?
Mike, the cameo Mike, who has a great way of relating to any of these people
Because of life experience.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which on the other side, Reichen is close to 40. He should be able to, he's still living his life as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, Lance Bass doesn't really cut it.
I love Lance Bass.
Of course you do. You're like the Mickey Mouse Club sitting over there.
I know.
So obviously the intervention between Nyasha.
This is a straight girl catalog, everybody.
You know what?
What is
We'll
it?
go to that next in special topics, but I want to make a comment about that. So the
distracted.
intervention between Reichen and Nyasha ends in her blowing up and leaving, and I'm kind of on Reichen's side. I mean, like, you should have, if you can't take it, then don't dish it. And I think ideally the conversation started with him. And he tried to flip it on her, and he's just not articulate. And like, when it comes to confrontation, he can't.
Well, we
he
also
doesn't
don't
have the
know.
words.
Maybe if Reichen asked for her opinion, say, because we don't know how the conversation started. If Reichen asked, because she came to his home, so if Reichen started this conversation and then all of a sudden redirected and detracted, and then now made it about her, I would flip out too. I would approach it differently, but that's my life experiences. How old is she? Do you know?
I think
25.
She's like,
She's 25.
25, and
So,
that
yeah.
explains a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Because she flips out, like, even I noticed towards the end of the episode when Austin is like, okay, I'm going to buck up and try and talk to her. She's like, she said it in a very, like, calm and good demeanor, but still, it's like, she's like, no, I just don't want to talk to you now.
You can still be
it's like
professional and regress into, that childish behavior.
Yeah,
And we're
like
also-
she was just like, oh, I just don't want to deal with you now. It's like she will not continue a topic of conversation or let people defend themselves. She just is like, oh, I'm done.
And this is also comes into like how probably they were brought up. I mean, you have Nyasha who's from Africa or wherever.
Oh my
the-
gosh,
she's from.
Nyasha.
Whatever. I'm moving on. This is boring. Because
Well, anyway,
the
so
more-
Derek
the more
pushed
time-
buttons too, though. That whole instigating the racial comment thing,
Well, yeah.
where she's like, well,
but
if you want to make it racial,
Derek does
really?
what we always think he's going to do, which is like sit back and let somebody else take the brunt of everything.
And put his bag down on the ground. That's all I ever see him do. That bag. Can we bleep that?
So ashamed.
That bag that he always carries is like this big whatever bag. I feel like my
Like a
grandmother
Teletubby
would.
bag.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I thought you said put his back on the
no,
ground.
his bag.
That's what I did too. I was like,
His
whoa.
bag, his like big bag. He always sits
You
on.
need to take voice lessons.
No, he sits it down, flips his hair.
I mean, the whole thing with that, Nyasha.
Thank you. I'm not the only one that can't get the half his name right. Go ahead.
She didn't really. I think the people that went into this thing, into this whole fashion show, that wanted to start drama was Austin and Derek.
Right.
Because Derek could have easily just been professional, cordial, and just been like, "Hi, Austin."
Exactly.
End of story. No conversation after that. Just say hi.
Mm-hmm.
Austin did make the comment again about the sandwich. I'm not hungry. I don't want it. Even if she was, and I honestly, I do believe she probably would
Was going to.
Right.
I believe too.
Mm-hmm.
But the editing and all that, I
Right.
think they made it look funny.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to go that extra step and say it, like, that's going to push a button.
Right.
And now you just opened up the can.
Because I honestly don't think that he really had closure. Because Derek got up and left their little meeting to kind of say what they had to say. Derek got up and left, like Nyasha.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was voiceover when they were doing the runway where Derek talks about, and the fact that I can befriend Nyasha and push Austin's buttons, that's a plus. So he actually said that, So.
Well, here's my whole take on this whole Derek Austin feud.
Is this a long take?
It's how much time do we have? I just because we are led to believe from what we discussed last week that the whole him being upset with Austin is kind of not real. You know, it's like you had this imaginary boyfriend, unless you take it in the principal tone where. Like, if I'm friends with you and I make believe some boyfriend that I had and I tell you not to okay, so it's all about principle, then yeah, I'll be mad at him. But is he really, really mad at him?
I think he's bipolar. It's like, That's the only explanation I could come up for this.
Just throw that term out.
I feel that he's
So
bipolar.
he's crazy.
It's like, it's like I want to cause this crazy drama, and I'm going to be mad on principle or whatever about this whole situation. It's like crazy. And then on Duncan's website, he mentions that Derek is an alcoholic. And so this is part of the problem, too. It's like you see him sitting there drinking the sangria throughout that whole shot. And it's like just because Austin is talking about it more doesn't make Derek less of an alcoholic.
No, I wrote it down. And I feel like the producers or whoever, the editors, want us to believe that Austin has the drinking problem.
Right.
Because who is it, Ryan? He always goes to him, I don't care what you do, just don't start drinking.
Right.
You know? And he's always saying, I need a cocktail. I need a cocktail.
It's only because he's louder and more intimidating, but that doesn't mean that like Derek doesn't have a problem. Duncan said there are several people that have admitted alcoholism to him from the show.
I feel like every time we see them, they're always drinking.
Yeah.
But that lens too, because we talked the whole Duncan situation. Maybe after this situation, it did turn bad between them two, and I do feel that Derek has the right. If that's your real best friend, really, if that's your real, if I tell you, if I tell my best friend, uninvite that bitch, it better happen.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I
what?
wouldn't end my friendship, but we're gonna have beef every time we see each other, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna jab every chance I get because that's a back pocket issue, and it'll come back. But I wouldn't end my friendship.
I'm inviting your next ex.
Break up.
soon. Okay.
Well,
Good.
actually,
Done.
that's a good idea. I was gonna kind of ride along with that comment before you said that, but who knows what happened at that dinner conversation in the sense of the things Duncan was saying could have been embarrassing. You know, whatever arrangement they made before, that could have been embarrassing on Derek's behalf and been like, you're taking this too far. Like we spoke about what we were gonna do, what we were gonna speak about. You know, so he really could have anger there towards him.
And vice
That's very
versa.
true.
Maybe Derek
Yeah.
promised that he could get him more airtime, and Duncan's like, "Hey, you fucked me over too," and that whole
We
all
know
turned a
from the
bad business
blog,
deal.
though. Yeah, we know from the blog that that Derek did promise Duncan more airtime because we know he cut it off abruptly. And then we also know that from the blog, Duncan basically says that, I guess he didn't like my take on things or where I was going with it. So I agree with Jesse, and I agree with you that this is probably him being like, my game is blowing up in my face, and so
Right.
now I'm mad.
So I think we're all on agreement that like certain things are contrived to get the spotlight for
Right.
the show, like the whole Playgirl thing. Like
Right.
Austin obviously wants the spotlight for that whole thing, and even like I feel like even Rodney to a certain extent wants the spotlight with his broken. Whatever the hell you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's just like,
It's so funny. I can't get enough of it. It makes me laugh so much.
are you attracted to him? Do you
No,
want him?
I find him
Okay.
so humorous, though. Like the whole fact that everything that comes out of his mouth sounds like horribly contrived.
I wouldn't be surprised that this whole season was scripted. I would not be surprised.
Well, I was just gonna say because I don't want to be. Because I was telling her earlier and through email that I'm gonna turn on Ryan because I'm thinking maybe that whole like backstory with the toning it down thing was contrived too. Who
right?
knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
if he's been Nelly that long, once you Nelly, you ain't
won't
trying to go back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of show are you going on where they're all of a sudden like, yeah, you need to be straighter? It's like, what?
Right. Well, what else happens? I'm just this whole this I just think I do want to talk about the whole racist thing. I mean,
Oh.
who me?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Like you're almost done with the show, and I was like, exciting.
No, because I just looked down on my notes and I'm just like, do you guys think the whole nasty black soul or dark soul is a racist comment? And I know
I didn't take it that way, but I'm sure it can be construed that way.
I'm sure it can be
Anytime-
construed that way. I think he was just, but I
Well, I'm gonna
feel
get
that
myself in trouble.
I feel that he's been. I feel that he said that before though to people that are not.
What was her comment to him though?
I think it was just a reaction, but then Derek kind of instigates it later.
Well,
Something like he's immature.
it was something like going exactly towards him that
Oh, you say
I was like,
instigate.
because when he first said it, I felt like he was gonna like say something. I felt like he was gonna like go
black
there,
bitch.
but then he was like, yeah. Yes, honestly, yes. I felt like he was gonna go there because of what the comment. I wish I could remember because of the comment she made to him. But I feel like he caught himself really quickly and was like, "Cause you have a dark soul." Like,
And who knows, when you're in the heat of the moment, I say things that, like, if I'm upset with someone, things roll off of my tongue.
Because you can ask the same question about Reichen's comment about a zebra doesn't change its stripes.
That would be way worse.
Oh.
Why?
Oh, Kenny, never mind. My jaw hurts.
No one has ever
I
said
didn't
that
get
to
her
me.
comment to Reichen about you just sit there and look like Ken. I like
Ken Barbie.
Ken Barbie.
Yeah, Ken Barbie.
Well, of the group, I guess
He's
he
the
would be
pretty boy.
But
you
I
know?
didn't-
I
I
thought it was
didn't-
hilarious.
Toy
I didn't think
Story
it was
3.
a bad. Like he took it like I could cuss this bitch out right now. Like I didn't think it was. I think they edited it to make it look worse than it was.
Right.
But I
think
think
Reichen's
that hurts
scared of her.
Reichen's
And I think so
feelings.
too. And I think because when
Don't point at me.
Austin was bringing up the fact that Reichen didn't like her, he was like, "Oh no, I like her." You know, he went into his little turtle shell. I was
No,
like,
he admitted. Don't throw
no,
me under
but
the bus.
but still, you know what? If you're gonna say stuff behind someone's back, then back it up. Like Ryan.
Pot kettle black.
Well, let's just find all the racist things.
What? I will tell you to your face.
Liar.
I will say
Okay,
that, like I always say about Austin, though, he's completely unfiltered. Like he just says exactly what he thinks, whereas everybody else is like doing some
And that's
magic.
you. I believe that's you. That
And-
comes
and-
with experience.
yeah.
He's gonna get popped one day.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually felt bad because he sat
Kenny
there-
felt bad.
I did, and
Really?
then he got up and walked off, and he went and cried. What's that line from Heather's? Was that Heather's? Are you gonna go and cry now? And then she gets up and she leaves, and she goes cry. She goes to cry. I forget what movie it is.
Your grammar sucks.
But I wanted to be naked. I wanted to get naked. And I wanted to speak broken English for the show.
I feel you put my life in danger.
In danger.
I want Rodney to call us.
I don't.
Oh my god.
Why not?
Can I just say I wrote this down because it amused me so much. The part that like he's talking about, you know, it's going to impress girls or whatever, and the woman's coming up to his crotch with a spray tan thing, and he goes, "Ooh, you're painting my legs."
No, and then Mike before that was like, "Why don't you do that to his taint?" I thought that was awesome. Okay, so
Awesome.
Austin cries. Nothing gets resolved. They do their little runway show, and
I have done nothing to her.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I kind of agreed with what she said in the sense of you can't give them that attention because that's the attention that they want. And in order, like, I feel like with her and Ryan, in a sense, I believe that she's probably been through some stuff and has
She's a
deeper
refugee.
reality. And the same thing with Reichen. When she said that to Reichen, no one's taken the chance to like know where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than Reichen saying like, "Yeah, you're right, I haven't." Like, what is your story?
That's
He
true.
just kept saying, "Well, no, you keep doing that." Like, so to me, that was what upset me.
I'm
a
on
bit.
page with you.
I am too.
But I do
Reichen's
agree.
not too bright though. That's part of the problem.
Well, you know, I don't know. I actually do. I do think that he has intelligence. He doesn't have the common sense. But going back to that, so the Nyasha thing, I do believe that she may have life experiences, but we all know that first impressions, and if you come off with what you got and where you coming from, and what you know, that'll get you popped too.
But she's very proud of where she was to where she is now, and I don't necessarily agree with that. But at the same time, I do think that Reichen. I don't know him. I think he comes from a very sheltered life, and you know he was on TV. He won $1 million, and you know now he's this, you know, whatever. So I think they are coming from two different walks of life.
perspectives.
Yeah.
But do you guys think that? Do you agree with her when she said like she?
I was going back
she
to that.
calmly. Oh, okay.
As far as it is childish behavior, and you don't want to reward it, or you don't want to
Right.
condition that's okay behavior. You want to walk out the room, storm off, cry like a bitch, then go cry. Nobody should follow you. Nobody should chase you, make you feel better, Ryan.
But didn't she do the same thing
With who?
with Reichen? She like stormed out of the room.
But
in
she
the
wasn't
middle.
waiting for anyone to come.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's where we're getting.
mean,
at.
I agree.
She's saying don't nurture or condition that behavior by telling him it's okay by going to see, oh, Austin, are you okay?
I agree with her partially, but I agree with her, you know, mindset on where that comes from. But it's also, if you think about it, it's like Austin really does feel like, it, you know, once he got to the point where Reichen was like, I don't hate her, it's like then he feels like everybody in
Right.
that room has turned against
No,
him.
and I understand.
And that is terrifying. It's
I understand that he
completely
also,
terrifying.
if he genuinely considered Derek his best friend, and you've just lost your best friend, I understand that that's all like it's a whole emotional build, and he finally the dam just broke.
Yeah.
I get that, and editing and all of that,
Right.
but I agree with Jesse in the sense of you don't want to nurture and condition that bad behavior. That being
But part
said,
of it is he just wanted to. He needed to get out of the room because it's like he did not want to cry in front of them, which I understand. And then also it's like he didn't feel like he had a friend in the room anyway. So like there's nobody like, there's nobody even in the room to buddy up with him. So he was just like, I got to get out of here.
He had no ally whatsoever.
Yeah.
but I think if you have put yourself in the situation, which he has, regardless of Derek's behavior or Reichen's behavior, or throwing them under the bus, whatever it may be, he put himself in that situation. And
he
in
needs
order
to think.
Right, and in order to learn not to do that again, you got to go through some tough love. I mean, if we're going to talk about reality, that's life. Sometimes, myself, sometimes I blurt out too much information about people's personal lives, whether it's very clearly put, it's still things that can be associated and figured out in the long run. So I have to learn how to edit sometimes, but that's a tough lesson. It was a hard lesson, but it's a lesson.
That's the thing.
But I ain't 25 and I don't want to live those 20s again either. So
yeah, well,
suck it.
Hey, we only have one F word quote.
That was
for
an
the
S.
day.
S isn't Sam.
Oh, I thought you said. Never mind. So that concludes this episode, and let's go to a commercial.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Oh, Truth Hurts. This is the exact song that I had when I was at the gym the other day. So let's spend about 5 minutes or so talking about our special topics where I like the song.
Jackie.
So Jackie. Does the truth hurts? No.
What you doing later?
This is like total.
Are any of you feeling bisexual today?
This is like totally porn music. I swear. Speaking of bisexual, Jackie brought it up. Let's go back to that.
Jackie Brown.
We touched on it last week, and then we had our caller, TJ Kelly, and then so I want to like go back to that. Does it exist? What are your thoughts? For me, it doesn't. I think you're either gay or straight. I don't necessarily think there's an in between. Okay.
I think we know my position.
No, I believe in bisexual. I think I try to think logically or break things down linearly. So sexuality, take emotion and love out of the situation. Everybody has the propensity or possibility of having sex with anything, any male, female, animals. Obviously, it exists. So now then you add in love, and it's a matter of what do you feel drawn to. I mean, it's a spectrum. Nothing is black and white for me. I would like it to be, but it's not.
Jesse,
I've had sex with women.
We'll get back to that, Jesse.
I'm on this side of the team where I believe.
What side is that? Am I by myself?
Our side.
Am I? I'm the Austin of the group. Is that what's going on?
You're Austin of the group.
Whatever.
No, I agree.
Come
I
forward.
believe that love is love, and it can be built off of friendship and grow into, if that's what you want your love to be, as a friendship. If you want it to, I don't believe that it's I only like guys, I only like girls. I think it's totally depends on the person.
Okay, so I just feel as though no, I'm not wishy-washy. I just feel as though if a guy is having sex with another guy, I don't think that he can have a relationship both emotionally or sexually with a girl. I don't think that's possible.
Do you feel the same way about women?
I think that if a woman has a sexual relationship with a woman, I think she can have a sexual relationship or
there you have it.
I just think I no.
So basically what Kenny's saying is if you have sex with a guy, you're never going to go back.
No. Yes.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Thank you. I know. I just think society has, that was a big S. I think it's socially okay for a woman to be a lesbian.
Courtney, you need to call in right now.
It's more socially acceptable.
Exactly. I think that a guy would be more turned on if his girlfriend, wife, whoever was invited another woman into the bedroom. On the flip side of that, I think a woman would be repulsed by her man, her husband, or another man joining in the bedroom, not just for her, but for him as well. I think
now who's sheltered?
I'm just saying.
Not if she gets double teamed at some point.
This is my call us 424-256-1729. This is my opinion, and don't look at me like that. This is what I think, and yes, we.
Okay, I get what you think, but I'm asking Kenny. You just admitted that it's okay for girls, but it's not okay for guys.
Yeah, once you go
it
penis,
exists
you never
for
go
guys,
back.
but it doesn't.
I don't consider
or it
women
exists for girls, but not for guys.
I don't think girls can be. Okay, that doesn't make sense. But I don't. I was gonna say I don't think girls can be either hetero or homo. I think
why?
Because
that's a great answer.
But you know what though? It's funny because when I walk down the street and I see two women holding hands, I don't see them as gay or lesbian. I just see them as two women. I think men are you're either gay or straight.
So you fall right under the social stream, huh?
I do. Call me a Republican.
I want to put it like this.
I just think that,
But you don't think that could be like
you're just basing everything off sex, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about love.
In the case of Rodney, though, he explains that this is also a cultural thing for him. It's like there are some cultures where guys greet each other by kissing each other.
That's true.
And there are some
Italy.
Yeah.
Because technically, Kenny, you are bisexual. Technically.
But I don't.
Nope. Technically, you're bisexual.
Technically on paper, but I don't consider.
On paper, you wrote this down.
There's a book coming, y'all.
There's websites that have bisexual clicked off.
Jesse, there are pictures too.
I just realized technically you're bisexual.
But I don't believe and I think it's been ingrained in me since I was in high school that there's no such thing as bisexuality. I just don't and not for a man. I just think that I don't know. It's just a hole is a hole. That is correct. But when two women have sex, what are they doing? Seriously? Are they just
to be biological about it.
Are they just pulling each other's curtains? I
Sometimes
don't get it.
there are mouths involved. Sometimes there are dildos.
But
fingers.
But you know what?
Scissoring.
For me, for me, sex is when you intercourse. I'm trying to keep this as PG as I possibly can.
You guys are about to witness a revelation.
When you have
intercourse,
I think when two people have sex, when you insert something into another person,
fists,
tongues.
I'm strictly speaking
dildos,
washing machines. I strictly am talking about the
enlarged clitoris,
penis into either a vagina or
that is so church right now. You just went to church. Penis in a vagina.
Well,
really?
I want to keep this. I don't want to be.
Oh my god! I wish some of our friends would call in right now.
Why?
Rena, where are you?
From laughing.
I'm just saying. I just think when you cross that orifice of sexual immaculation, I just think that
what? Jesse, can you translate this?
No.
I want a staccato Kenny right now.
I'm just picturing pictures and colors just exploding.
When someone enters another person's body, you're exchanging that energy, and that's what I think. And even you, I think you even said that when. Oh God, what conversation that we had? It was a while back.
We're talking about bottoms and how much you possibly
you drain a person's energy. You remember that conversation that we had?
Well, that's a belief in many cultures for women that's why warriors didn't have sex, blah, 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 because it took their power.
Exactly. And I think that when you exchange that energy, that power, that submissiveness, I think that describes the whole sexual being. You know
Where are you going with that? Because that happens whether it's heterosexual or
it goes back
homosexual.
to two women having sex. You're not exchanging.
So he believes that two women having sex is not sex.
I don't know.
There's
I'm
bull
sorry.
dykes. There's lipstick lesbians. I know girls that
Unless they
fist.
have
I know
penises. I'm talking with.
But I'm just saying this the sexual tension, the exchanging. Let me put it in your terms. The exchanging of energy
Across
Exactly.
an orifice.
Exactly.
I used to be right with you because to me, I just can't. That just doesn't rock my world, my boat at all.
Why?
But I'm just saying. For
we gotta back up.
a very close friend of mine, she would never go back to guys because the sex is nowhere near as
fulfilling.
Yeah, like she's like, the way she explains it with the female, it's like ecstasy.
Yeah, because it's with women are emotional.
Do not make generalizations, Kenny. That is not fair.
I'm
You have
gonna get
never
all-
been a lesbian.
That's what I'm saying. I'm only speaking from like.
But lesbian sex is sex. It's just it's sex.
When someone
it's not
asks,
the same thing,
okay,
but
when
it's
someone
sex.
asks me, "Am I a virgin?" Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking just oral sex? Are we talking like anal sex? Are we talking vaginal sex? Like, if we're categorizing these things, like, are you a virgin? How? You know,
If you've had any type of those, you've de-virginized yourself.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I'm- yeah,
virgin is pure. You've never you can't even imagine anything like that.
I'm not down because I think Royce on Basketball Wives used the fact that she never had intercourse, but she would do other things and said that she's still
like I don't consider like at 15 I don't consider giving
I'm
someone.
talking with my hands. Sorry.
You are. I don't think considering giving someone a hand job is I'm still if I'm a virgin never had intercourse and I give somebody a hand job or a blow job, I don't think that's sex.
But I also think I'm going to draw this back to a point that I had last week. These are new ways to define these terms that we've come up with in like the last century, like
Right.
bisexuality,
that's true.
heterosexuality, homosexuality, and like virgin. I think back in the day, you didn't do any, like Jesse said, you didn't do any of those things until you did them all at once,
Right.
basically.
Ha! Did you just pop my cherry? Is that what happened?
Literally in
The hell was
Greece,
that?
on your wedding day, night after your wedding day, you would have to bring your sheet out.
Oh,
Show, right.
Show, yeah, you're goody.
Otherwise, you are. You've now what?
You're basically, what was that? The Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, because
disgraced
there
your
are other
family
ways
and all
to
that. Give the cows
break
back.
through that barrier that don't involve a penis.
And I'll even give you the hand job.
Oh, jeez.
But once you enter any type of whatever into any other hole in your body, that's sex.
Even in my ear?
Well, that's beyond freaky. Then.
Well, you say any hole in my body.
Yeah. So yes, if you're shoving dicks in your ear, then I believe that you're
My
not
mom
a
is
virgin.
watching this
Then
show.
it's too close to your
Shame
mouth.
on you for sending this link to your mother.
Mom, I've never had ear sex. I promise. No penises in the ear. Maybe,
I don't think she's worried about that.
Maybe I try to stick one in my nostril, but not in the ear. Never. I just think, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I don't think lesbian sex is sex.
Are you?
Oh no!
I don't think so.
Lesbians call
The
in.
views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily
I'm
reflect the views of
sorry.
AfterBuzz TV or its owners or
I'm
principals.
sorry. I just don't.
We're gonna have to continue this conversation next
Oh
week
my
because we're
gosh.
starting to cut down on time.
Okay.
But well, you know what? I'm gonna get some lesbians to call in.
Foot
next week.
in mouth.
Please. So I guess Jesse, let's go ahead and do our news and
And now, your
predictions.
Well, you know what? We're gonna cut predictions out because we really
Okay.
didn't see
Yeah.
anything. So let's go.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So the drag queen who shantaed his way to the championship on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2 was arrested in Georgia last week, all over a teeny tiny package of weed. According to the Gwinnett County Detention Center, 23-year-old James Ross, better known by his fabulous alter ego Tyra Sanchez. Did you write this, Kenny?
I did not. I straight from TMZ.
Was arrested last Tuesday night for being in possession of a small amount of marijuana, less than 1 ounce. Officials tell us Ross was allowed to sashay his way out of jail the following day after posting bond.
Oh. And I real quick, I hear that the rape rate for gay men in prison or jail is like 80%. It's really high. So
He's probably having a blast. The A-list Dallas debuts on Logo October 3rd, and like Christmas or the apocalypse, the countdown has begun.
Next, I won't be watching. I don't think it looks awful.
I haven't seen it.
Check it out. It looks awful. Next.
Well, it's beginning to look like the 2011 edition of the MTV Video Music Awards on Sunday, August 28th will be all about Britney Spears. The pop superstar at the tender age of 30 apparently will receive the VMA Lifetime Achievement Award, presented by none other than Madonna. Other artists rumored to perform during the tribute include Selena Gomez, Katy Perry, Janet Jackson, Demi Lovato, Kesha, Nicki Minaj, and none other than Mother Monster herself,
Lady Gaga.
And actually, Selena Gomez just announced she will not be performing.
Yeah.
Oh, good, because who cares about her?
She's 5 years old. It's too past her bedtime.
Exactly. The only person that I question mark is Janet Jackson.
I've heard this, and the reason why I do believe it might be true is because Britney and Michael were really close friends. And he mentored her a lot during her whole little breakdown.
Well, and she's been touring or doing some stuff in Asia.
Well,
so.
I feel
she's supposed to be doing Slave for You.
And yeah, I know, and I feel
that
like
would be good.
And I feel
That'd
like
be
this
good.
is kind of is Janet trying to be relevant again? I don't know. This is weird for me.
No, I think it's just...
Janet Jackson is always relevant.
No, she's not. What is she doing now?
She's touring. Oh my.
That's it.
We apologize.
I'm done.
All right.
Lady Gaga would be there, and she's doing circus. Fun. Okay.
All right, so... Let's go.
And that's it for us, guys. For the A-List New York, episode 5.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
Also, we'll be covering the MTV Awards this Sunday, so tune in after the show.
All right.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.